Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Eddie Marcus here once again. I got a wonderful message for you today, and I want to make sure that every time I come before you that I'm always bringing a wonderful message, something that can work for you, something that can help you, bring you into a total new awareness that makes life more real. What I want to talk to you about today is this. Do not count on God. Now, many may ask, when Eve offered Adam a bite of the apple, why didn't God stop him? Or they may ask, why didn't God stop Cain from killing Abel? The answer is choice. Humans have choice. The angels were in heaven, and a third of them were dissatisfied. But humans have been given choice to experience heaven or hell by their choice. They have no one to blame. Heaven and hell already exist. Choose and walk accordingly. Broad is the way and wide is the gate that leads to hell. And many there be that travels it and enters therein. But straight is the way, and narrow is the gate that leads to life. And few there be that finds it. Now all legitimate prayers were answered in creation. Yet humans blame God for what they do not understand. Prayer is a sign that they do not understand. A football team. Both teams praise to God for victory. Still, one loses. Was it God or was it preparation? Today, when God does things, it happens as a miracle because God keeps his hands out of your business. But every now and then, he performs an act which is seen as a miracle. It is a sign to all of us, especially to the one who observes the miracle, that we are not alone. When sin takes over, it is time for righteousness to pack its bags and leave, or become a sinner like everyone else. The prodigal son gave up and returned home, the narrow way. Jesus returned home, the narrow way. The broad way or mega church or anything else is not going to set you free, all of you who are sitting up in these mega churches. When building a car, now listen to this, or a house, a blueprint is made. Now others with interest become mechanics, carpenters, or contractors. And when any part breaks down, you call the mechanic or you call the contractor. You don't call the creator. Humankind came with a blueprint for survival. If the people need help, they call those that are familiar with the cures. You call a doctor if it's the body, or a preacher if it's the spirit. You don't call God. Now, if one falls off the path, a miracle may occur. It's an act of the Creator to remind of the path. You must stay on the path, for when you are overcome by the destroyers, it is better to leave than become one of the destroyers. What I'm basically saying, for those of you who might have missed my point, is that it was nothing wrong necessarily when Adam gave in to Eve, or when Cain gave in and killed Abel. What usually happens, ladies and gentlemen, over time, is that when all we see is evil, when all we see is sin, then it becomes a translation of it's okay. And that which is really okay, if it's seldom done, you never know anything about it. And what will happen in that event is that the whole of the population will be doing evil, thinking it's right. Even though it caused pain and suffering and all these other kinds of things, they will think it's right. Now all of a sudden, all the rules and regulations of the system protects that which is wrong. And those which are right have no protection whatsoever, because it's abnormal to a society that's all doing sin. So, if you're going to keep sin outside of your perimeter, when you start seeing it, snap it out. Snap it out. Do not feed the flame, and it will not grow. It will not spread. But if all you have done is spread it, then you will be like those who have to travel the narrow path if you're in God. Now, I'm going to tell you something that most of you are not going to like, but the ones who know what I'm talking about will. In this world that we live in today, everywhere you turn, everybody's suffering. And if you look for solutions, there are no solutions anywhere, it seems. Everybody got a biased opinion. Everybody got some old selfish thing that works for them and some others, and turn their backs on others. I was watching a video the other day on YouTube, and they had us where people practice the Islamic faith. And in these schools of thought, children were being taught basic stuff from the Quran, and were being beaten if they didn't understand what was going on. I heard that used to happen in the Catholic Church. I don't know. I never went to Catholic Church. But if you know people who are involved in the Catholic Church, they did the same thing. They beat you. They had your hands clapped, punishing you because you didn't remember or focus on what they were teaching. And this is the same thing I saw happening in that Islamic faith. Doing the same darn things. And everybody knows Christians are messed up. Everybody knows a Christian is messed up. So everybody knows that one that of the Islamic faith is messed up. Everyone knows that those of the Jewish faith, whatever that is messed up. Everybody is messed up. Everybody on this earth is messed up, except a few, a handful. Guys like Gandhi. I say Gandhi because he goes back a long time. You know, beyond our time. And I say Jesus because he goes way back. Whether it's true or not, the message is genuine. I say guys like Abraham Lincoln. He was way back. A lot of folks don't think Lincoln was that good. That doesn't matter whether you think it or not. But he goes way back. If he had not been good, he'd have been living. He was good, they killed him. Then we think about Robert Kennedy, John F. Kennedy. I mean, you know, nobody's perfect. You can point out a lot of evil things that these guys did, or things that you don't like, or would not condone. But they were killed, not because they were doing wrong. They were killed because they were doing right. And wrong, which was running all over the earth, wasn't going to take it. Same thing happened to Dr. Martin Luther King, Medgar Evers, and a whole slew of other individuals who were standing up to do right, that I might not be able to call their names, or you might not be able to call their names, but they are in history. Malcolm X. They had been doing wrong. Malcolm was a pimp, they say. I don't really know. Drank, smoked. Life was good. Malcolm was out there. Got in a little trouble and did some time because he got busted. That was part of the pretense, like they care. Protecting you from this guy. This is one guy, and all over the nation, people are doing the same thing that Malcolm was doing, even at the time that Malcolm was doing it. But it was when he went to prison, had a conversion, in other words, born again, came back out speaking a different language, that they say, hell no, he got to go. And so I'm saying to you today, if you're being led by the Spirit of God, I don't care if you got a good job, you're a dentist, you're a doctor, you're a lawyer, you're a preacher. If you were any good righteously, I'm not talking about fitting into a system that's hell, and that is hell. Yeah, if you fit in a system that's hell, sure. I was listening to another video, and I could not believe this, and I'm going to end it here. There were a group of people going to a church, the Church of Satan. And they were going to the Church of Satan to sell their soul to the devil. Because life had been so discouraging. Life had been so to them. And everybody wants to live in peace, be prosperous and joyous in life, but these had just made a choice. They were fed up with it. Now, what were they fed up with? They weren't fed up with God. They lacked understanding. They know that peace and joy was absent from them. The things of life for survival was absent of them. But they know also that those who are out there with the devil are millionaires, billionaires, trillionaires, run the country, own the businesses, own the car dealerships, own the hotels, own everything. So they want a piece of it. So they go to the Church of Satan and make a vow. Satan, bless me, oh Satan. I'm not talking about you, Satan. Leave me alone. They were telling Satan, bless them. And they would give up their soul. One man said he was so tired of being broke, he told the devil, if you give me $1 million and 10 years of my life, you can have my soul. About a week later, he won the lottery. 1,200,000. Messed him up. Now he says the 10 years almost over, the money's just about gone. Now he's nervous because he knows that the devil is coming for his soul. Now, you don't want to sell your soul to the devil, but you got to be born again so you can know the truth. The truth will tell you that life came from somewhere else to here. Life leaves here, goes someplace else. But life is continuous. So we came here and found ourselves in a mess. We don't have to stay here unless we don't know the truth. We don't have to stay here unless we're a prisoner. We don't have to stay here unless we're cowards. We can always, I know they made it a sin. They made it a terrible thing for you to commit suicide. They made it a terrible thing for you to take control of your life. They made it such a terrible thing that the police force can be called up and say there's a man or a woman or a child out there that's threatening suicide. They're going to kill themselves. And the police will get there as fast as they can to make sure. To save that person? No. To make sure if he dies, he didn't commit suicide. He was killed by them. Because if people ever realize that you don't have to take this stuff, you can just leave this stuff alone, just like leaving something that you can fill in the blank that you don't like alone. Hey, you got control. Ain't nobody control a man who got control of his own life. God gave every last one of us control of our own lives. We don't have to take this stuff. You got a job. They're working the hell out of you. But you need a job to pay the bills, to have a house to go to bed in, some food on the table. You need these things. God made it possible so they can just come to you by you indulging yourself in the activities of life. But the devil says, no, you got to work for me. I tell you how much you're going to get. I tell you what job is important. And you got to be the right color. And to be obedient. And the devil says, these things I'll do for you. And he will do them for you. Rob all the good people. Why? Because that's what the devil does. God gave you a choice. You don't have to take it. Now some people say, does that mean I pick up a gun and go fight it? That's if you don't know any better. If that's all you know, if that's the only defense you have is to fight yourself, fight for yourself. I heard that everybody got a right for self-defense. But I say to you,